I'm gonna start with this Platform 2 film, and this is one that's on Netflix. They did release a film called The Platform. I believe that was about 2 years ago, straight to Netflix, and I believe this is film that is coming out of Spain, or it is a Spanish language film. The director in this film is Galder Gaztelu Urrutia. This is a kind of a horror suspense film, and in this film, after a mysterious leader imposes his law in a brutal system of vertical cells, a new arrival battles against a dubious food distribution method. And this film stars Melina Smith. We've also got Natalia Tena, Hovik Kuchkarian, Bastian Ugeto, and also Oscar Janeda. I think those are our main characters in this. There's a bunch of other people, but the premise of this film is there is this place that has this platform in it, and it's interesting how this people come about being there. This film reminds me of Cube so much, man. We got characters that are kind of waking up in this environment, but the backstory is they people that have some of them have volunteered to be in this situation. Some of them are here because they've done a crime, and by going through this situation, they get some kind of redemption, or there's some kind of monetary incentive for some of these people. But basically, this thing has, I think, they indicate it has about 330 levels in it, and you're confined to a level. I'm not sure the exact time cycle that they switch the levels. It could be a week. I think it is like a week, you know. So 1 week you're at one level, you endure it, and then you fall asleep and you wake up in another level the following week. So the catch with these films is there's a platform that comes down every day and it has food on it, because during these intake interviews, so to speak, these people are asked what is their favorite food, and they don't know this, but that food ends up on this platform that comes down. And it's kind of an unwritten rule that that these people try to put in places, like you should just eat your own food. That way it allows for everyone on each level to get their food, but what ends up happening is people are, people, and they, some people take more than they want, or they're like, dang, I told them my favorite food was peaches, but these peaches ain't working out for me. If this is all I got to eat, meanwhile, there's a steak here, there's bread here, there's whatever, so there's that chaos. So in this film, which I didn't know was a prequel, we kind of get the notion of people that are in here trying to, restore some order. Because what's happening is the people on the lower levels aren't getting their food, man. And from what I gather in this early on, one of the indicators is, well, the food got down to level, let's say 165 today. So that's kind of a celebration. It means that people at that 160 level were allowed to get food. It starts at the top and goes down. So if you're on the upper platform, that's a favorable position. If you're on the lower platform, then you might not get any food, dude. And if you're stuck in there a week, dude, and just imagine you're on a level that doesn't get any food, and then the next week you're at an even lower level that doesn't get the food again. Like this can get crazy, man, and people can get desperate. And that's kind of what happens, man. There is, in the previous film, it kind of got to cannibalism and murder on the lower levels. So this film, kind of starts and runs. We get the same setup initially, different characters, but like I said, I didn't pick up on the fact that this was a prequel until after I watched it. There are some characters that pop up in this that were in the previous film, and that should have been my first clue. But I will say what worked for me in this film was the initial beginning, meeting the character, and following through her eye view, her and her floor mate, because there's two people on each floor. So that was cool, But once we get to the floor mate, we find out that there's this kind of almost like a religious figure in these platforms that has taken it upon himself to enforce this new system that encourages everyone to be honest, so the food can make it down to the most levels. And he's not above using violence to keep this type of order, almost to the point where he's imposing rules, and crazy rules. Like, not crazy, I get what he's reaching for, but it's also being levied out in a brutal manner. Like say, for instance, someone below you see them taking food that doesn't belong to them. It's your duty to then go down to their level as soon as you can to discipline them.
Check them. Okay. Okay.
Yeah, you got to check them, and if you don't check them, you can get checked. Based
Yeah.
on where
Okay.
you're at.
Okay.
Like the rules are pretty strict. Like there's even a character here that goes to check another character, and they get checked because this is like basically the two floors above that floor that violated and the two floors below that floor that violated are responsible for meeting the discipline. So she's like four floors up and decides to go down and help them check this floor. And she gets checked because, yo, that's out of your jurisdiction, kind of
Okay.
thing. So, but I think this thing fails to hit for me is like, it just gets muddy toward the end. Like I told you, I had to look up one of these YouTube videos to see what was going on. There's a lot of really crazy imagery for the last third of this film, and I think the cohesion of everything just falls apart. It's like it tries to get art house for some reason with this material, and I think in trying to make these cool fantasy like sequences, it loses cohesion. It loses the ability to tell the story that it's trying to tell properly, and it just left me confused, man, and it kind of took me out of it. Like I really loved the first film, but I don't think this one is a work, to be honest. Like it left me like scratching my head, like damn, rewinding, trying to see like, did I miss something? What is happening here? Like yeah, I don't know. I can't really recommend this one, man, at all.
I didn't see the first one, but I don't know. I think that was one of the films that I was going to put on my 31 films I was going to watch, new horror for this year, and it just didn't make the list, this go round.
I really think the first one is very worth a watch, especially if you're into the Cube series. Have you seen any of those films?
I didn't like them. I didn't really care for them.
Yeah. Well, if you're, I don't know. I think the pill for me was this box, putting these people in and having them try to figure out how to get out of it. And I think the first one really focused on that aspect. I think this one was trying to be more of a, like I said, explanation to how some of the rules in that original got set up, but it kind of lost the story. It's almost like you've already got one film out here and you're trying to make a film to lead us up until the point where this first film starts, and it just didn't do a real good job of it, dude. It's like you're trying to write a prequel, and just you're bungling it, Yeah, but yeah, if you're a fan of like Q, I know there's definitely fans of it out there. I would definitely recommend checking out the first Platform, and unless you really, really, really gotta know, I would definitely stay away from part